Hey everybody, it's Maria from What's the Story with Maria. How's it going? How are you guys doing? Happy Tuesday, the best day of the week for me anyway. I love it. I look forward to it all day, and it's my day off. So I just run around and do all kinds of things. I go to the bank, I do laundry, I cook my food for the show, I catch up on all this stuff I have to do. But I know that at the end of all that, I have this amazing reward, and it's this show. I love doing it. I always am excited about seeing Leo. Leo is the greatest. Our gun for hire. As a matter of fact, Leo and I had a conversation today because Leo Rodriguez, assistant extraordinaire and sidekick, co-host, tech guru, everything. He has now also worked more on the YouTube page. So please go check that out and just follow us, which would be so cool. And go and do that. And also my website, which Leo has now taken over, and he updates, which is so incredible. Billy Malcolm, my friend, designed it many years ago, and Leo Rodriguez has now taken it over. It's been about a year now.
And just so you guys know, I want to tell you, some people may not see our recent videos that they see when they go to videos.
Yeah.
That's because we switched over and we went live. So now all of our live videos have their own, according to YouTube. They do the fancy stuff.
Wow, that's
and look
so
at how
cool.
colorful all your guests are, Maria.
Oh my God, I love it. I am the luckiest person alive because I have just the greatest friends. I have the greatest friends. And like, this has given me a chance to remember that and archive how lucky I am. Right, Leo? The both of us here.
Yeah.
All these amazing people we know. Thank you, Leo. This is all Leo, by the way. And let me tell you something. I have no problem saying Leo is a gun for hire. Please. I am not selfish. I don't need to have Leo all to myself. I know he loves me. He's my friend. He helped me turn this show from a radio show that I used to Facebook Live into something so amazing. During COVID, we decided to go StreamYard because we couldn't have people in the audience. I mean, in the studio, and Leo helped me with all this, and it's just turned out to be this amazing thing. So thank you, Leo. I don't know where I'd be without Leo.
Well, you inspired all of us, and that's what this transpired from your inspiration.
Well, look at who is Doug McAllister. This little hottie says, "Hi, I'm a What's the Story with Maria Virgin." Really?
Wow.
Hello. Well, welcome, sir.
Alana Go Boom.
Alana Go Boom, who I worked with last night. Oh my God, we had so much fun. There's this thing happening at Stonewall every one Monday a month. It's called Muse Mondays. Amazing. We'll tell you more about that because I may have some of those girls on, Alana. They're so incredible. They do like this just great show. And so we'll talk about that. I don't want to give too much away. But Leo is a gun for hire. As I said, I don't mind sharing him. If you have a website that you need worked on, if you have a page, anything. Leo puts together promo videos, does amazing work. And so reach out to Leo Rodriguez. No, Leo, I'm serious. And everybody I've recommended you to loves you as much as I do. And I love you like crazy. So
I love you like crazy.
You make me look good, Leo. Rosie Puzo has joined us.
Hi, Rose.
Hi, Rose. How are you? Okay. Oh, Doug has joined us. Thanks to Danielle. Wonderful. Andy Prasky.
Hi, Andy.
My God. So he says, hey guys, last Tuesday's results, very encouraging. Oh,
that's
my
wonderful.
God. And Andy, Leo's the best. Yes, I happen to have my American flag handy. And I'll tell you why. This is not a gloating thing. It's not about that. This is what I just want to say this, and I'm going to just let it be. What this said to me, it wasn't about Democrats and Republicans. It was our country was restored to sanity. What I loved best was that people came out in gigantic numbers. A big shout out to the Gen Zers, who sometimes I am the first to say they don't show up, but they did. And I publicly want to retract my statement that they don't show up because you guys proved me wrong. These Gen Zers are amazing. Women showed up in gigantic numbers. People of color showed up in gigantic numbers. And, you know, everybody, immigrants.
There were lines at the colleges for people wanting to vote.
I am so proud of everybody that voted. White, black, Hispanic, Asian, gay, straight, immigrant, people that were born here. I don't care who. I love you for
Mandar,
voting.
you're crazy.
What did Mandar say? It was
He's
about
autocrats and
and
Dominicans. He's such a joker.
You know what? You're very silly. Okay, so
oh God,
well,
so,
yes, the democracy won. Democracy won, and that's what counts. Our democracy won. I am thrilled, and let's now.
Apparently, that other dude's making his announcement right now, but I think we're way past him.
You know what? Who cares? I am basking in the light of democracy. I am always been such a proud American from Italian American parents. I'm first generation. My parents love this country. My family loves this country, and I am so excited. Oh my God, Jeannie Craigie. The guy is delusional. I know. I want to shout out to Jeannie Craigie. She's the town moderator in my hometown of Stoneham, Massachusetts. Jeannie Craigie took so many amazing pictures of Veterans Day. Jeannie, I swear to God, those pictures brought me to tears. Did you see them?
I did not see them. I did not see them.
Go to Jeannie Craigie's page. You cannot, and also my hometown. I'll send them to you. Wow, Jeannie. She captures the most beautiful images of democracy and veterans and honoring them. Chauncey Dandrew says, hi, my love. Hi, baby. We have a very special guest on tonight. Her name is Danielle, and she's a spiritual medium. So, Chauncey, if you can listen in, people can ask questions, and we may even Zoom people in if they want to.
You know, speaking of that, we do need to get to some business. You have a very special event coming up on Thursday.
Yes.
I'm so sad that I won't be able to sing this year.
I know. Well,
she is so worth it.
You sang with us other years. Our great friend who sadly passed away a few years back, Lori Lawrence, was the most altruistic human being you can imagine. She volunteered at length for Special Olympics and Big Brother, Big Sister organization. And also she was a New Yorker of the Week on New York One for all her volunteer work. Beautiful person, came to every show we all did. She supported all of us. She always donated to our causes. She always was the first to show up at the party and the last one to leave. She always brought great food.
Tuna sandwiches.
No, I made the tuna sandwiches.
They were her favorite.
They were her favorite. But she always brought the best cheese. She would bring this amazing cheese. So Lori Lawrence, we are doing a benefit in her name to raise money for Big Brother, Big Sister this Thursday. 7 p.m. at the Stonewall Inn. The show starts at 7 p.m., but the doors open at 6 because we're also going to have a raffle. So come on in, get a few drinks, mill around, talk, see some old friends, buy some raffle tickets. If you are in the area of the Stonewall Inn this Thursday, November 17th, to buy some raffle tickets, hang out. Here's the lineup. You want to say the lineup, Leo? You say.
I will say the lineup, but I want to know what you're raffling.
Oh, I'm going to give away a set of the 2023 calendar, nothing but the apron calendar and an apron. I'm also going to give away another one is going to be a mug and what's the other thing I have? Mug and a tote bag. Mm-hmm. And then Sean Patrick Murtaugh.
Oh, that adorable.
He's so beautiful. He's doing a show at Green Room 42 Friday night. And he is donating 2 tickets to his show plus a CD, which I think is very generous. Tony DeChico of the Duplex is donating 2 $50 gift certificates to the Duplex, which I think is very generous.
Thank you, Tony.
So we want to say thank you to Tony. And we got a bunch of stuff coming in so that people are donating.
You know, Tony's always so. I know a lot of people have many stories, but every time I've been to the Duplex, Tony's always been warm and welcoming. And the last time I was there for your birthday, he even remembered me, and that was very touching.
And he was absolutely. He said right away, absolutely, I would love to donate. So there's going to be a couple of things we're raffling off. We have bottles of. We have champagne. We have all kinds of things. And by the way, let's say you're coming to the show and you say, hey, I'd like to donate something, bring it. And we'll make it part of the raffle. Okay. So it's going to be stuff like that. Anyway, we're very excited.
That's awesome. I
Can-
love that. That's a great show.
Oh, yes.
Sorry.
Oh my
Oh my
God.
God.
What the hell is that?
Oh my,
Chauncey Dandridge.
oh my goodness. I wasn't supposed to show that. Oh
Uh,
my goodness. Whoops.
Leo.
Whoops.
That's Chauncey Dandridge in our 2023 Nothing But the Apron calendar. He is Mr. March, and he is adorable. So if you want to buy an apron, if you want to buy an calendar for 2023, any of our merchandise, just go to What's the Story with Maria at Gmail. Leo gets that email, and then he lets me know what's happening there. A bunch of people have already done that, and then you can Venmo me. Don't worry, we'll work it out. The cost of the anything that I sell, the merchandise, literally, it's just to cover the cost. We don't make a profit on it. We just want to.
It's been more fun than anything.
I know. It's just really we just want to cover our costs. That's all. So we can keep buying it. Okay, what do you got there, Leo?
Richard Skipper just said,
oh my God,
that he would donate an autographed photo of Carol Channing for the auction as well for the raffle.
What?
That would be, oh wow.
Oh my God, Richard Skipper. That's incredible. So Richard Skipper, who is an amazing friend and has a show every day. I only do it once a week. I don't know how you do it, Richard. He does show every day. I was on his show.
Sometimes twice.
Yes. And why don't you talk about that show a little bit, Leo,
Richard Skipper celebrates. He celebrates. You guys are in such a wonderful realm of so many talented people in New York. And there are so many people in that small little town, right?
Yeah.
That you celebrate. And Richard does a great job celebrating authors. He did one with author Lon Davis and talked about like the black and white parts of history. Ma and Pa Kettle, one of my favorite episodes because I love Hollywood history.
Yeah.
Tonight's guest Danielle has been also on Richard Skipper Celebrates.
That's how I met Danielle.
Yeah, that's right. She was showing her tote bag that she won.
I was on his show the same, and she kept typing in.
Yep, and that was a Friday wrap-up, right? He does a Friday wrap-up. I love
that show. It was so great.
He also has a great show working with Kassira McKee called the Let That Go Show, which is about letting things go in your life that you need to hang on. So it's just
Richard,
great.
That's very generous. Richard is, amongst many other things, an incredible Carol Channing impersonator, or he celebrates her. And he became very good friends with Carol over the years. And he is donating, this is amazing, an autographed photo of Carol Channing for the auction. Wow. So we have this great auction going on. We're very excited. All the money, all the proceeds goes to Big Brother, Big Sister for two Lori Lawrence scholarships. They will, last year, I think they gave away 5 scholarships. So we're helping out. And she was just a funny, wonderful, light in the world. And sadly,
I can't read that part, but it says Lori was truly dynamic, loving, witty, talented, and a dedicated friend. The scholarship in her name benefits the Big Brothers Big Sisters of New York City, the city's largest youth mentoring organization.
Yes.
And your donation has the power to change lives by ensuring that mentors and mentees are supported.
Yes. So Leo, we want to thank Richard Skipper. We want to thank Sean Patrick Murtaugh, whose show is this Friday at the Green Room 42. Please go and check that out. It's going to be amazing. And his album has been released. I'm getting 4 copies. I can't wait. I can't wait for Christmas presents. Okay. It's really mine, he says. Yes, I know it is. I know. That's a really big deal, Richard. Thank you so much. What a sweet thing to do. My God. Okay, so now, speaking of our calendars, before we bring Danielle on.
Yeah, we're in November, right?
I know. Just because we're pushing ahead doesn't mean that Leo and I are still enjoying our calendar from last year. Mr. November, Peter Feliciano.
And now, as we should, since this past week was Veterans Day.
Yeah, Peter is a veteran, and he was a Marine. Once a Marine, always a Marine. So we want to thank you for your service, Pete.
Semper Fi.
He's so beautiful. How beautiful is Peter?
That's my twin, my birthday twin right there.
That's right.
My birthday twin. Look at, we both share the same nip slip.
Now, this is the thing. I can't believe that picture. His wife took it. I said, Peter, what on earth? If you see the other picture, that's who Peter is, right? That's who I know Peter as. That's Peter. And then he sent us this picture. I was like, what in God's name? He goes, I thought you wanted me to gay it up for the calendar. I was like, I didn't ask for that, but thank you for gaying it up.
He would not tell me how they kept that apron up.
Right. As a matter of fact, his beautiful wife, Elaine, who we adore, is Miss January. And because she's born in January. So we have so many amazing people. But Leo, will you read the lineup for our benefit on Thursday?
Oh, yes.
People that are performing.
I know that Jay Rivera is performing.
Hottie, Mr. April last year.
I know that Melissa Driscoll is performing.
Yeah.
Susan
I know
Campanaro.
you're getting sad.
All my friends. Anthony Fett, David Foley Jr. from the Fit Foleys.
Yeah.
My favorite pain in the booty, Bill Goffey.
Yes.
Susan Gregory. Okay, so
Susan Gregory.
Susan Gregory, I don't think sang the year that I sang. So you're replacing Sagittarian with that, so it's an even.
Okay.
Because Susan Gregory is amazing.
Yeah.
Kim Lee Hicks.
And Jerry D. Yeah, Jay Rivera. Jerry Diefenbach is playing as well
along
as Billy
with John
Goffey.
Bronston.
Yeah. Now John Bronson is not going to be able to make it.
Oh, okay.
I know, because he's traveling. He's leaving for a trip and it's just too close. So I was like, John, don't worry about it.
Yeah. Oh, he does so much. And congratulations, John, on his promotion lately.
Yes. Oh my God. And we want to thank Jerry Diefenbach for picking up and Bill Goffey for picking up the people that because I was going to ask John, but he's super busy. So
Chauncey Dandridge is doing your tech and hosted by, who's that lady? Maria Gentile.
Yeah, I'm going to host it.
Or as my Siri would say, Maria Gentile.
Oh yeah, that's what Siri says. So, and Chauncey Dandridge is doing lights and sound as only Chauncey can. He's amazing. Chauncey's also a gun for hire if you need a DJ. He's, in my opinion, the best DJ in the city.
And a disco star.
Oh my God. As a matter of fact, Chauncey, we have to have you back on. Do you know that Chauncey's songs on Spotify hit 1 million streams? 1 million.
Wow.
1 million. Disco Brother.
I will say it's because of that what he's wearing. I'll say that.
He's adorable. But the songs, all Chauncey and his partner's songs are amazing. So we want to just shout out to that. Okay, now the only thing I want to do before we bring Danielle on, I want to pull up the show because I watch it here, and then I also watch it on my own page. This is the What's the Story with Maria page. I want to bring it up because different people, and then I also watch it on my own. Different people come on for some reason on different pages, so I don't want to miss anything in case people.
Right now, they're all shouting, "Bring on Danielle!"
Yes, bring on Danielle. Nancy Tipernero Hogan is also watching.
Nancy.
Okay, before we start anything, we're going to bring on Danielle. And I must say, I met her through Richard. And we started chatting and we hit it off immediately. And I got a session with Danielle this week. And I'll wait till she comes on. But so what we want to do, we're going to bring Danielle on, and then it's her. And we're going to leave it up to her. But you know me, I can't shut up. But I will say that if you have questions that you want to type in for Danielle, something you want to ask, please type it in and Leo will pop it up on the screen. Okay? Mm-hmm. All right. Shall we bring her in?
We shall bring her in, ladies and gentlemen.
Dun, 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 dun. There she is. Yay.
Hey, Maria. Hey, Leo.
Hi, Danielle. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Oh, so good. I was so excited about today. How about you, Leo?
I'm very excited. We've been communicating back and forth all day since yesterday. So we've been having nice little tidbits of conversation.
So Danielle, let's just let's start with whatever you want to start with, and we'll go from there. And if you need us to navigate it, facilitate anything, let us know. But I'll just let you take over and go from there.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you, Richard, because he brought us together, and I'm so glad he's in the house tonight, and that's very generous, donating something for the auction.
So generous.
Yes. And hey, Rosie. Hey, Doug. I know you guys came over from Richard as well. I saw you guys in the comments. I'm not watching the comments, so if anybody has a comment or a question, thank you, Leo, for popping that up so that I could pay attention and key into this. But yeah, basically, Maria and I hit it off. We have kind of a similar background and upbringing. And we had a great talk this week. Of course, that's all private, but anything you want to share about enjoying your experience that can help people maybe understand from your perspective would be great.
I'm going to jump in actually, because I do believe in all of this beautiful stuff and being open-hearted and open-minded to the universe. And I believe that certain people do have gifts. And so I wasn't skeptical or anything going in. I wasn't coming from that, but I will tell you what happened. I went in with one expectation and came out with a completely different experience than I would have gone in with. And what happened, and as I love that you said it's private, because it is, and I thank you for respecting that. But what happened in my session was so healing for me. And it didn't happen right away, because in the session, I was brought to tears, really. And I was rattled in a good way, but it was days afterwards. It was like this healing that happened a little at a time, where I could remember things, but also where I was like, you gave me permission in that session without even saying it to just let go. And it was so well needed. So I can't sing Danielle's praises enough. I really thank you so much. You just changed the balance in my brain and in my energy, and I really needed it. So thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you for sharing that, because if someone hasn't interacted with me in that way, it can even be a little difficult for me, even though I've been doing this for years, to explain. And sometimes people ask me, why are there such differences in my sessions, and that's why I call them quantum sessions, than there are in kind of other types of sessions, other price ranges, other readers, and things like that. And it really is because I do work through that quantum space, that space outside space and time, and with the spirit as a whole. I started off from my earliest memories at age 3 interacting with spirit, and because I also grew up Catholic, I was interacting with Catholic deity as we knew it. And loved ones in spirit and angelic energy and all of that. And then, as I grew, I started doing spirit medium work and was really honestly bombarded with spirit most of my life, sometimes to the detriment of my health before I knew how to understand and implement boundaries, because my family, to be honest, wasn't very good at boundaries. And so I found that I didn't have boundaries with the spirit world either. Wow. And so that drained my energy quite a bit. And so I've been reading really since my late teens. And for the first few years, it was primarily spirit mediumship and more of a conversational style between myself, my clients, and their loved ones in spirit. And then through the years, especially as I started working on my own healing, I started getting activated as an energy healer as well, and really educating myself more. I've always been fascinated with metaphysics and studying all forms of religion and spirituality, because I really also believe that everything is interconnected, and that all the different names that we have for deity all stem back to the same source, as do all of us. And especially if I wanted to take on this role of standing in the place and in the space to help many different kinds of people, I felt that I needed to learn as much as I could, about as much as I could, and be able to stand in that space of meeting everyone where they're at. So I also started studying mental health quite fervently, as well as other types of occult and metaphysics and spirituality. And interestingly, I found as I also started helping other people understand and train themselves in their gifts, my gifts started changing and my relationship with spirit started changing. So I don't find myself doing straight spirit mediumship that much anymore.
Wow.
Most of my sessions are about different types of interconnectivity as well, and allowing people's loved ones to step in ways that also inform them about their holistic spirit and help them with their patterns.
Right there, what you just said I did not expect that.
Yeah.
I didn't go in with expectations. I just wanted to enjoy it because I love this stuff. I love it. But what ended up happening was exactly that. What you just said was the healing that I so badly needed and didn't realize through what you were saying, and the connection of generations.
Yeah.
that I was just blown away by. Blown away. I loved it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I'm so glad you got that experience, because I mentioned I also do energy healing packages with people where we really get to those roots. But some people like yourself just can have a session and have some of the healing start to implement because of that session. So it really depends on what type of person you are and what your soul needs. And that's why there's never going to be two sessions that are the same, even if it's the same person. Everything is really tailored to whatever your soul needs in that moment.
Okay, well, it's wonderful. So that we're just putting that out a little bit at a time. And if people have questions, that's why Danielle was requesting that it be structured, and that's what we're going to do. So I'll let Danielle decide if some questions can be answered or not, or whatever. But the first question is from Doug McAllister. Danielle, has anyone stepped forward to tell me anything? He says.
Doug, I feel, and just before I get into Doug's particular question, I do want to say sometimes, depending on the spirit, because of this type of platform, just interacting with comment communication, it's not going to be the easiest flowing method to connect and get a reading of just generalized spirit. If it's too general, it might be hard to key in, especially because these are, short format readings. Mm-hmm. So if you can get as specific as possible as well with your questions, that would be great. I also, just for anybody before we get to Doug, who is thinking about what kind of question to ask, I work with not only loved ones in spirit, but your spirit team, your spirit guides, also spirit animal guides, which I know some of the people here know about, and do psychic work as well. But I do psychic work in a little bit of a different way. I'm never here to predict someone's future and try to kind of cement them in that predicted future. I like to help people understand where their energy is currently, some of the roots and patterns of where that comes from, and what is currently projected, but always remind people that everyone does have the power to use their free will to change that or any aspect of future that may be coming towards them. So.
Wonderful. So, okay. So a little more specific, that would be great.
Yeah.
And okay, but I do want to, Lynn Portis, I'm going to read it. So Lynn says, I think this is an excellent question. This way I chose it. Danielle, there is such a division in so many families lately. It seems more likely spirits are around more than ever. So I agree. I know what, because I do feel that that's happening. There's a lot of division in the last few years. Yeah. So does that mean that spirits are around more than ever? How does a spirit deal with a divided family?
Well, spirit is timeless. So they are outside of our time structure, which is why spirit can report on projected possible futures and why they can so clearly visit us in any time period. It's just that most people more so resonate with them in moments of calm, maybe in quieter moments or moments out in nature or in their own dreams. I do have, I think Leo watched it, a chat and channel session, which is my podcast that goes up on Wednesdays, about ancestral karma and ancestral trauma.
Whoa.
And I think what's happening right now is there are so many people, because of being catalyzed by the pandemic, that have been awakened to another level. A lot more people than ever are realizing that they're here to be the pattern interrupters in their family, which sometimes causes division.
Whoa.
Yeah. So when it used to be called the black sheep of the family, right?
Right.
When you're the different one, when you're the one who recognizes that some things that have been happening in the family aren't quite right, or if you're the one or one of the ones that are here to change that karmic pattern that's been playing out over and over and over again, often there will be friction with people in the family that are not quite awakened to that same level yet and who don't want to step out of those patterns.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you called it karmic interrupter, or what did you call it?
Pattern interrupter.
Pattern interrupter. I love that. That's amazing.
And spirit does visit people on all sides of divided families, because spirit has that perspective to see where everyone is. And I will get back to Doug's question. I didn't forget about him, but I think
Okay.
this is an important question as well, because this is what so many people are dealing with now, especially going into the holidays.
Right.
Because you have to sometimes with the holidays go back around people that you find you don't quite fit with anymore. A
Mm,
lot of times we forget that we don't grow at the same rates as other people. And especially if you're the pattern interrupter in your family, or if you're awakened or a light worker, or whatever these terms are that you resonate as using, you're going to be growing at an exponentially different rate than the people in your family. And they may have interest in it somewhat, but then they might do something hurtful, like roll their eyes and say, yeah, that's spiritual stuff again, or you learning about boundaries again, or talking about mental health or sobriety or recovery. They're just not going to be on that same page with you. They're going to maybe, excuse me, tease you a little bit. I'm getting a little throat chakra stuff because I'm, feeling that very strongly I'm feeling that there's someone as well who may have trouble speaking up around their loved ones, maybe during the holidays as well. And actually, I suggest if you can recognize that they're just not on the same page as you, save your breath somewhat, because it's not that it's not the right information, and it's not that you're not trying to be helpful. You are. But you have to remember, and I'm sure you can attest to this, Maria, if someone isn't ready to change or to heal, hearing it not only is just going to go in one ear and out the other, it's going to annoy them and cause more problems between the two of you.
and yes, and what you said is mind blowing. So, and I want to say one thing, because you said because we're both Italian, so we have that Italian connection.
Yeah.
My mother used to say, and I'll say it in Italian first: "Chi nasce quadro non morat uno," and what that means is, he who is born round does not die square. In other words, people don't really change. So, like you said, sometimes they're not going to change. But so save your breath. Wow, that was amazing. Okay, Andy Prasky says, "Do we have spirit guides?" And then he elaborated in something like, "How do we know who our spirit guides are?"
Okay. And then Doug, if you want to ask a more specific question than just is anyone picking up? Okay, so he asked. Okay, so let's do spirit guides, and then if Leo can pop Doug's question on again after that.
Yeah. Okay.
But yes, in my experience, everyone has spirit guides. I like to say spirit teams. We all have a different number in my experience in reading and connecting with people's fields. There are some spiritual practices and modalities that try to say an exact number in certain traditions, but I find that everyone and every lifetime is so unique that we really do have a different number. And sometimes we even retire spirit guides, because sometimes we have a core team of guides that are with us from birth until death. And then we have additional guides that come in for certain lessons in our life. We do, in my experience, also have our angels or guardian angels. But some people, depending on how they resonate with the spirit world, will see them strictly as guides as well. The important thing to remember is that angelics or guides, whatever you like to call them, cannot do anything against our free will. So that's why it's important to actually ask for help. The only time I've seen them step in without our permission or consent or our prayer asking for something to happen is when it's for our protection, and when it's something that we don't currently see to ask protection for. I also work with a lot of shamanic tradition and energy, and so I truly believe that we connect with the animal kingdom as well. And that's why a lot of people get animals that come up as signs for them. And one of the things that I've done with my mediumship from the beginning is to help clients have an animal guide and or a number as well, so that they can have their own symbol connection with their loved one in spirit to continue communication even when they're not in touch with someone like me.
Wow, that's beautiful. And I love animals. So yes, Leo.
Yeah.
What do you got, Leo?
One of my books, Shamanism and Personal Mastery. Just chiming in there that I have. I'm digging what you're putting down.
Awesome.
Leo. Well, we're digging what you're putting down all the time, Leo. Leo is the best. Okay, so should we try to
We have go back to Doug, right?
Yes.
Yeah, let's go back to Doug. Go ahead, Leo, you read it.
I have so many questions. So Danielle, you pick the ones you want to answer. I have a neighbor or friend that has just disappeared, and I'm trying to see if perhaps he's passed away.
Okay. I do feel that male energy. I feel him, for lack of a better term, offline. So that could be passed away. But Doug, I also feel like he pulled back his energy from um, others around him if he did pass away. Because remember, I have to have consent of people and spirits that I'm working with. And not all of them consent to a public reading experience. But what I'm feeling is that he pulled back from a lot of people. So not just you, he pulled his personality and his energy back out of the world. I do also feel that there has been some mental health issues. So there might have been some maybe early onset Alzheimer's or dementia or some kind of mental health interruption that was enough to pull back something about his memories as well, even before he disappeared. So I would be concerned that he was having health issues in his brain, whether that was recognized or not, for a chunk of time before this disappearance even happened. I'm not sure if you know if he has a daughter, but I am feeling a younger female energy that his energy is expressing watching over or need about. And for you, Doug, I feel a totally separate female friend or peer energy that's not long on the side of spirit world from what she's showing me, or feels very new, at least in energy. And I feel her coming forward. So if you have specific questions for her maybe, or about something else, I'd be happy to answer that too.
So Eudenia Mesa says she said came in late, but she's been following. She said my animal guide is definitely dogs, and Eudenia, her name is Judy. She goes by Judy. She loves dogs. So I'm going to ask this question because I'm always curious. Like certain people just are, animals come to them.
Yeah.
It's almost like animals choose them on earth, Is that, and I feel like I have some friends that it happens to be cats or whatever it is. I have a cousin that's incredibly like with animals. She's a marine biologist. Are there certain people that animals are drawn to?
Yes. And those people most of the times would be considered empaths. So animals really connect with empathic people. This is why children and animals often have a unique connection, because even if they eventually grow out of that empathness, most children are born with that innate ability. And this is also why animals have a strong connection with people that may lose or never have a certain sense. So if someone is missing sight or hearing or the ability to speak, let's say, or if they go through an accident or a sickness experience and have difficulty with it, animals tend to fill in that gap. But I will also say, in terms of spirit animals, people don't realize that we can have what are called totem animals, which are animals that are our guides throughout basically the entire lifetime and our core in our spirit team. But then spirit guides are more animals that step forward during certain portions or certain lessons of our life. So one of the mini reading types that I do is spirit animal medicine, and that enables people to ask a question and get an answer in the form of an answer from their animal guide, so that they can actually have that guide to continue working with towards that question or towards that specific issue. So we can have many, many guides.
Wow, that's beautiful. Does anybody, let me see, do we have any? So this is, what are you showing now, Leo?
That's my website.
Okay, beautiful. All right, so let's take a minute because it's flying by now. It's flying by. Oh my goodness. Okay.
And I can also, if somebody wants a spirit animal question, I can get you a guide if you have a specific question. You can ask a specific question or just ask for a guide for a topic in your life, such as romance, finances, something like that.
Okay, so Doug says the spirit animal God sessions are excellent. Okay, thank you, Doug. Okay, so let's talk about how people reach you, and how they can book a session, and the different sessions that you have, how they can reach you, the different sessions that you have, and go ahead.
Yes. So Leo showed my website. I have basically everything on one website, which is Damsel Designs, DAMCL. Interestingly, that is because I have 5 names as an Italian, and those are my name initials.
Okay.
So it's not like damsel in distress. It is spelled differently. And that is my website where I have the different types of sessions that I do. And I also have contact availability for people that want to go beyond session work and into one-on-one continued energy healing or life and consciousness coaching. So there is a contact about that. I am currently taking on new clients because they graduate every once in a while. So I have energy healing spots. And this is the Spirit Animal Medicine mini readings that Leo is putting up. This is currently my most affordable type of session. And it comes in the availability to ask one question and get one animal guide. And then you get it back via email delivery within a couple of days. And I believe Doug already shared that he has partaken in that, so I'm not speaking out of turn. But I think he can attest you get quite a lot for that. And I go and give a channeling. And even if we've never interacted before, Spirit always shows up and shows through.
Okay.
All of my reading sessions basically come with recordings as well, because I find it helpful for people to continue listening to them. I get messages sometimes 4 and 5 years after the fact that someone listens to the recording again and finds new information. So I have mini readings, which are done via email and recording. And then I have the live sessions, the quantum session, which would be the type that we did with you, and Akashic Records. And
That's a quantum session, what you did with me. I love that. It was amazing. Because I personally want to give things like that as gifts.
Yeah.
I think do you do that? People do that? Give gifts?
Yes. And actually for this year, I just started a new thing, which I believe Leo showed, which is gift certificates, which are new because I put on that page every type of session basically that I currently offer. And I already launched the holiday offer. So what people can do is they can, yes, there it is. Thank you, Leo. So they can buy one, get any one within that mix and match at 10% off. You can give one and get one. You can save them and purchase in advance if you want to lock in that special price. And yes, so basically you purchase first. I don't have my calendar listed. So you make the purchase and then I contact you back and we set up either where you want your gift certificate customized and sent to if it's going to someone else, or if you're purchasing it for yourself, we can set up your time for your appointment. And
Wonderful.
I contact people via email, but I do the sessions either via phone in the US if you prefer, or Zoom worldwide. I have many countries that I've interacted with.
Oh, I love that. Mine was Zoom. I loved it.
Yes.
Okay, so Judy, Eugenia Mesa asks, she says, I want to ask a question. Do you want to zoom in and ask the question, or do you want to just ask it? Because if you want to zoom in, just let Leo know you have the link, I think, and you can zoom in. And then we can have a live question.
Sure.
Just to mix it up. But in the meantime, Sean Chinsoon says, can loved ones who have passed on communicate through music?
Absolutely.
What a beautiful question.
Absolutely. Happens all the time. In fact, when I have done work with the dying and people know in advance, and I've worked with the person who is dying and with their family, I do help them choose symbols, as I said. And one of the things I do recommend is a song. And I personally find, so this is for, hopefully no one needs this right now, but just for you to lock in your information data bank there. If you know someone is not long of this world, or even if you don't, try to have communication and talks with your loved ones about what you want your symbols to be. Because I've personally found, especially in my neural pathway work, that if we talk about the symbols before the person is actually passed over, then it's easier for the people on the other side to use that. And it's easier for them to get right to using that energy to send us the signs and symbols messages, as well as easier for us to accept that it's actually coming straight from them because we've already talked about it while they were here.
Okay. Wow. That's beautiful. I'm glad you brought that up. My mom had cancer for 2 years before she died, and we spent a lot of time talking about things like that.
Yeah.
Neither one of us wanted to avoid it. We really and it was quite beautiful. And I journaled a lot for her. I asked her questions and she answered them. But I love that. So thank you. Okay, so Judy said she's just going to ask. This is a great question. Says Facebook user, my friend passed away recently, and I felt like the way she passed was not what she wanted. Like she wasn't ready. What do you?
Well, in my experience, even when people pass away young, there is really no such thing at passing before their time, which I know can upset people. But the way that Spirit has shown me, we make an agreement with our higher power before we enter this life. And we agree to kind of a rough list of experiences that we want to do, or lessons that we want or need to learn, karmas we may need to balance, etc. And what we do is we set up this kind of loose map. Some people think they have a better idea of that by doing things like astrology chart work that can help us maybe understand that map better. But on that map, we set up these points. And my guides have called them exit points. So everyone has several exit points throughout their life that are pre-planned. And what happens is we approach those exit points, we may start feeling uneasy about our life. And then the exit point can be experienced by something like a sickness, by an accident or a possible accident, or a period of dark night of the soul or depression. And when we're going through or approaching these exit points, we start to feel this pushback because our soul is deciding on some level, do I want to continue forward in this life or not? And this is where you can also understand this, because people that are very ill, you will notice that they make a decision, and you can sometimes see them weighing out the options of, if they were in an accident or if they were very ill, weighing out the options of what it would be like to stay and continue in that life. And some people decide that they wouldn't want to be a vegetable. They wouldn't want to be a paraplegic. They wouldn't want to experience these things, and they pass away, even if the doctors, have said that it was very possible for them to survive. So what I'm feeling with Judy's friend is that she had two, just from connecting with her personal spirit a little bit here, she had two exit points that were very close together. And so I'm feeling that she started feeling this energy of her spirit asking her if she wanted to continue to stay. And she had a very difficult time. Now, most of the time, remember, we make these decisions on a subconscious level. Many people aren't even aware of it. We just recognize it maybe as a near brush or as a period of some kind of darkness or turmoil. But I feel that Judy's friend had these 2 points very close together. She decided and bypassed the first one and decided to continue living. So this might have been a period of illness that she made it through. And then the other exit point came up. And while she was resisting it, there was part of her soul or her higher self that was saying the projection of what life could be, continuing to go forward, just wasn't worth it for her, which is, I know, hard to hear, but from the higher perspective, you have to remember they see every possibility. So even if the people in our lives are absolutely worth it, the experience that we may have within that body as it is, or what it would need going forward, may not be worth it. And especially when spirit and our higher power take us through experiences to help us weigh the options of if we're going to continue to go forward, sometimes our higher power says we may be able to have actually more interaction and help and love towards our loved ones from the other side than we could here within a hurt or sick body. So what I would say also is there is a practice in Buddhism where for a period after someone passes away, people say prayers for that soul, that they remember who they are, that they remember that they are passed away, that they connect with the other side and exit what's called samsara or matrix in Buddhism. And I would say her soul at this point could use some extra prayers, and I will say some prayers for her as well. You can say her name if you like, and I will pray, or else just general. And just to help her ease that tension. She kind of does feel a little bit between the worlds because there was resistance about her passing. She is okay. It's not that she's in pain, but sometimes people believe that as soon as we pass away, it's just immediate bliss and everything's fine and we get a cloud. I hate to burst the bubble, but just to, tell truth, because I'm also astral travel and get shown many things and work with spirit on both sides of life, we continue to grow. And we can't continue to grow if everything is just immediately perfect.
Wow.
So, yeah. So, in my experience, that's why things like our prayers help our loved ones in spirit. It gives them energy. It's why so many practices and traditions throughout the world have us do things like set altars or light candles for our loved ones, because that gives them an energy boost and it helps them with whatever their soul is continuing to learn or heal or clear.
Wow, that was amazing. That was amazing. That was Leo. What did you want to jump in and say something?
I want to thank you for pulling all of the pieces of the puzzle together for many people. Many people, as you mentioned, come through and look at just from Catholicism, just from a certain. But I've always felt that once we put all of them together, we have the puzzle, and at the root of it is always love, because that's what is the most represented. And once you're doing, I've been ignited since you started talking. Like my palms have been really like going off. So it's I want to thank you for doing that for people, because I don't think they get that. And I think that you're making it easier for people to understand it's not just one view, it's the whole view. And God means love. It's the one. So thank you.
Also,
Namaste.
Yeah, that was just beautiful.
Thank you, Leo. I love you for that, because that's my biggest passion. Is I always tell everyone that not everyone gets it, because people very much like us to choose a side, right? But it to me, it's so important to see the interconnectivity of everything and to be able to help with all sides. And I respect everyone's beliefs if they need a particular side, but that's why I try to educate myself and interact with as many of those sides as possible.
It's amazing. It's like, all my life I've gone through, and you walk through psychic, open late at night, and I've always been the one to kind of put my hand out and just kind of, and never feel or not feel. Sometimes, there's a lot of people that I've gone to before that have they think they know already the question that you want, and it's about the typical things that people ask and such, which has never been me. I've never been typical. So, but this tonight has been very, very, very enlightening, as well as connecting and reigniting.
Awesome.
Yeah, and calming. Danielle, I am such a nut. Like, I'm like wired for, I'm one of those people. I'm always bouncing off the walls, and I feel so calm. It's like so wonderful. I cannot tell you, everybody out there, enough how wonderful. Please do yourself a favor, get a session with Danielle. Give it as a gift. What a wonderful gift to give.
Thank you. I'm so glad you guys recognize that, because sometimes, depending on our degree of spirituality, not everyone's ready to recognize that. But that's one of my biggest passions. It's why I don't do readings really like anyone else, because I've worked over a decade now to really evolve that style and be able to activate, as Leo said, but also create that calming container. And I do take it really seriously. I always meditate and create a, sacred space before, so that everyone is getting true lighted energy.
Yeah, beautiful. Boy, could we use it too. Now, Catherine England Johnson, who's a great friend of mine and she's in England right now. I mean, she lives, although I think she's in Arizona right now. I think she's visiting. Her husband is a pilot, so they do travel quite a bit. But Catherine, I know you say, sorry I joined late. So there's a few people that have joined late. Here's what you do.
I can stay on a little bit late if you need to.
Maria, we don't have a confined, do we?
I was going to say, we usually have to end the show at 10 because of the radio station, but we're not connected to the radio station tonight. We're just going into podcast. We are connected to YouTube, Facebook, all that stuff. So I think we could go maybe... I think the number 12 is a wonderful number of completion. Why don't we go till 10:12? Does that sound good?
Sure.
Does that have a few minutes then, and before we go on further, for 2 Italian women to feed me?
Oh, yeah, because we do have to take a break to do our food. Oh, yeah, so Catherine is in Phoenix. But Catherine, after the show is over, please go back and watch it. You're not going to believe it. And Danielle does sessions via Zoom. So as well as on the phone, but via Zoom, you could do it because Catherine and I have Zoom together, and you could definitely, no matter what country you're in, you can get a session with Danielle.
And
How
you can do
wonderful.
voice only if you're not comfortable with video. So
Okay, that's good to know. Annette Zito has joined us. She's one of our amazing friends from a kitchenette, and I really wanted Annette to come on this tonight and just check this out. So, okay, let's take a quick moment for our food section of our show. You know, I like to stay creative because I bring creative people on, and I don't think it's fair to ask other people to be creative every week if I cannot continue to hone my craft. So one of the things that I love to do is cook. Leo, this is for you. I'm going to tell you what this is. So I took 2 tortillas, low carb tortillas, and I toasted the way you showed me how to do it on the stove. And then here I have ground beef, poblano peppers, which Leo introduced me to. I never knew about poblano peppers, and some taco seasoning, of course. And then I have avocado, sour cream, little baby tiny vine ripe tomatoes, cilantro, and I'm going to put a little taco sauce from Trader Joe's on that. And it sounds delicious. And that's a nice healthy. It's actually very healthy with the low carb because I'm sliding back into the low carb diet a little at a time. I'm still being kind of bad, but anyway. And for salad, because of you, Danielle, you're Italian and I'm Italian, I made a nice Italian salad. So I have romaine lettuce, little pearl mozzarellas. They're called pearls. I love them. They're tiny little mozzarella balls, black olives, red peppers, and I put a bunch of Italian herbs on that. So we talked about oregano in our session.
Yes.
So I put a little oregano on that.
Good.
Yes.
I'm actually sacrilege. I am vegan Italian now.
Oh, okay. That's all right. No, listen, good for you.
But there are a lot of great substitutes. And, you know, I know a lot of people that even make their own cashew mozzarella, and it tastes pretty good.
Oh, I bet that's delicious. Leo, do you know if Rena Cugnali-Berge has joined us tonight?
I have not seen her at all yet.
I have not seen her either because it's her birthday tomorrow. Maybe that's what she's doing. She's out for her birthday. So I was going to light a little candle for my cousin Rena, but next week when she comes on, because she comes on every week. So what do I have tonight for the Italians out there as well? Italian cookies.
Classic cookies. You got the jelly cookies?
Yes, of course. The jelly cookies. I got a fall color one. And these are from my favorite bakery in the city called Rocco's Pastries. It's on Bleecker Street.
But you don't have rainbow cookies.
You know what?
The sprinkles.
No, I did have the sprinkles, but I ate them.
You ate the rainbow. Those were my favorite.
That's
I would
the truth.
sneak the fridge and eat them, and I had a great aunt who actually made them.
Oh my!
I have found vegan rainbow cookies, thank goodness, but I might have had to cheat and be a flexitarian if I couldn't find them.
Oh, what do you got there, Leo?
I'm sorry for my vegan friend. I didn't mean that, but
that's okay.
These are my whiskey ginger perfect jam on some ribs, and then some beef ribs around the corner. It was rib day. I had to clean my freezer out. So
oh my god! So
I don't judge. I mostly switched because of between my love for the animals, but also my health. My health really forced me to. So whatever anybody wants and needs to do, I have no judgment, and I do miss the food. It's not a judgmental thing. It's just a personal thing.
I hear that. I'm getting close to it. Okay, hold on a second. I just want to take a minute.
Go ahead. Before we go, Danielle, you have to let us know what you're doing after the day after tomorrow.
Yes.
And but I wanted to. I've never really I've never asked anybody when it comes to readings like this because I've always figured if Spirit has something to say for me, then Spirit will come forward. Right. So I'm always open. So if that does happen, then I'm always open to hear and listen. But there are other people that may need it more. So I'm always.
But Leo, if you have a question,
and I could stay on after we shut it as well. So if you want to ask a private question on the stream,
I don't usually have the questions. All my questions are usually out there. I talk to my ancestors, the ones I know about and the ones I don't know about on a pretty much daily basis. A lot of them I go, thank you very much, and a lot of them go, yeah, you owed me anyway. So, but I've always, I've been to a couple of readings where other people around me have been, and I've always felt like if spirit has something to say, that they will say it, and the door is open. So if anybody should ever come forward, then in this moment, then they can come forward.
Well, I take that as an invitation, and I started getting some information. If you are open to hearing about it live,
I'm open to hearing about it live. I think everyone should.
So I'm getting a female relative in spirit, older, like grandmother or great aunt age range, and I'm feeling that she is the protector of. Especially now, she's saying watching over people in the family, yourself included, with blood pressure issues that she feels got passed down. She feels a concern for between 2 and 3 people. So that would, to me, mean the third person is kind of borderline, but there are 2 people that would definitely have some sort of blood pressure issue that she's concerned about. So I feel like you may be one of those people. I would keep a concerned eye on it. It doesn't feel like an immediate thing, but they take the opportunity when they see it. So it could even be something in a few weeks and maybe it comes back to you. But of course, with health, I always recommend get it checked sooner rather than later, just in case. But it's information for you to have as well, that she is helping to watch over that and also taking responsibility that it comes from her side of the family, which is something that spirit does with me a lot, help people find the roots of where either medical or emotional issues may come from, so that we have that information to combat it.
Wow.
Interesting. Okay. A question on that.
Yeah.
Would it be somebody birth or adoptive?
It could be either. Most of the time they come through kind of the same. They don't usually make that distinction unless it's very important that they do so for some reason. So if it was someone that was not by birth to pass it down through blood, it may be someone that passed it down based on tradition and maybe foods or environmental issues that would still cause that issue, the same way a blood issue would be passed down.
Okay.
You know what I found interesting? That some of the stuff you tell me, Danielle, I was like, nah, in that moment, I was like, that doesn't really resonate with me. But I wrote it down. And then like a few days later, I was like, oh.
Happens to everyone. That's why I tell people always, I do the recordings, but take your own notes if you can too, because the things that you write down will speak to you a little differently than maybe getting the actual urge and following through with re-listening to the recording. It's also why I've learned to not take offense if something doesn't click for someone right away, because I know that I'm reading from that space where spirit is taking the opportunity to bring it through for a reason. And it will play out when and if and how it plays out. It really doesn't matter to me.
You may not be ready to receive it at that moment.
Yeah, it just matters that the seed was planted with that person. But I've had clients call me back and say, yeah, that was my son's name. I don't know why I didn't think of saying it and confirming it in the moment.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And I think, that's why it is important. I wrote a lot of stuff down. Okay, Peter Feliciano is watching. Peter Feliciano.
Hi, Peter.
Is we want to say Happy Veterans Day, Peter, because he is a former Marine, once a Marine, always a Marine, and he's also Mr. November.
And my birthday twin by a year.
And your birthday twin, Leo. When's your birthday again? It's
December 3rd.
December 3rd. So I'm putting this out there. We're going the first week in. Your birthday's on a Saturday.
The birthday's on a Saturday, so it's the second week of. Yeah, the first is on the first is on a Thursday. So yeah,
we're gonna have a party for Leo on here on the show. A birthday party. Happy birthday, Leo! Birthday party. Woo-hoo. So Leo, we'll see what we can do about that, but it's gonna be fun. So I want to put that out there. Okay, we also want to remind everybody about Lori. The Lori Lawrence benefit for Big Brother Big Sister is this Thursday at the Stonewall Inn. The doors open at 6 for drinks and raffle, and then the show starts sharp at 7 because there's a piano bar that follows afterwards at 8:30. I mean at 9, and we want to make sure that we get everything done. So please, we'll be posting it on my wall and the other walls. All right, so we have a few minutes left. We have we're going to end at 10:12. So, do we have any other questions that are coming through that people want to ask about this?
Richard
Yes,
Skipper wanted to know.
tomorrow, I think we got a nice reminder there from Richard. Tomorrow, I am going to be doing a simulcast with Richard on his YouTube channel, Richard Skipper Celebrates, and on my channel, which is my screen name here, D's Enlightened Edits, where you could find me on YouTube and Instagram. But on our YouTubes, we're going to be doing a special simulcast episode at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to be talking about and celebrating, of course, empaths, but also we're going to have a conversation because Richard is leaving Facebook in the way that he's always been a part of it, starting in December. And he got a lot of activation to do that because of also leaving Twitter, which I know many people are doing because of the changes there. And so we're going to be having a conversation about empaths in social media and talking about energy boundaries that you can have with social media because it is draining to a lot of people. And it is also something that activates our dopamine response. And actually, these things are designed to interact with our dopamine response and make us more addictive or anxious or troubled in our lives in order to use these apps as coping mechanisms. And we're also going to be talking about the ways that that's changed our relationship with others because of the way that we've been trained to interact through social media.
Wow, that's really interesting.
Yeah. So that's tomorrow at 7. We're also going to do a giveaway because, you know, he does his famous giveaways. So be sure to tune in live if you want to take part in that. I'll be taking empath related questions tomorrow on the live show. And then after that, because it's Wednesday, I have my podcast episode going live as well on my YouTube channel.
Okay, so on your YouTube channel, that's Wednesdays live at what time?
Well, I don't project live. I pre-record them.
Oh, okay.
But I put them as live premieres so that they have a live chat comment section just like this. And then I'm in the live chat comments so we can listen together and people could ask me questions about the topic as it's live. Normally they go live Wednesdays at 8, but because we're doing the special event tomorrow, it will be live at 9 p.m.
Wow. Okay, great. All right, so these are all cool things to write down. Make sure you take all the information, and also you can watch the show again. I always watch it because I miss so many things. Mostly, I miss all of Leo's really cool inside jokes. And when I'm listening back, I'm like, Leo is hysterical. So let me see. We had can loved ones
comments come in
who have. I had another one that I saw come up. Hold on a second.
Andy Prasky can spirit guides help in physical healing?
That's the one.
Yes, they absolutely can. However, I do tell everyone I am not a doctor. I do study medical materials so I can better translate for spirit. But I do recommend the best thing, in my opinion, is to work with your medical doctors and to work with your spiritual aspects. Do them in conjunction with one another and have them inform one another. But they do absolutely help in physical healing. I have a practice of energy healing that I incorporate quantum, also Sikhem, which is kind of like an Egyptian form of Reiki, and shamanic healing as well. So I mix several modalities depending on what the person needs. And then I work with their team of spirit guides and whatever deity or higher power they may resonate with or feel comfortable with if they do. I have also worked with people that don't feel comfortable with a name or a face of higher power, and it still works in my experience. Distance energy healing works as well. And spirit guides and loved ones in spirit can help with physical healing, especially if it's a loved one in spirit and that physical aspect stems from a pattern or a karmic experience that they may also be responsible for.
Wow.
I love that you go that far back, that you take it back to the Egyptian, which is just, so much that we don't know. But can you explain, I don't know if you can do it quickly enough for people now, but the Akashic studies and going back that far back real quick?
Yes. So I have an Akashic Records session that I do as well. And basically that was activated for me. Actually, today is my grandmother's heavenly birthday.
Wow.
And as Maria and I connected with, and Maria chose the date for me to come on today on your grandmother's birthday, Leo. So we have a lot of grandmother helping us out tonight.
Mhm.
But my
Yay.
grandmother, I was very close with. I was a caretaker for her while she was alive and passing away. And I believe that she was gifted as well, but she was shutting down her gifts very much.
Mm.
And I had a lot of experiences with her where she would notice something, a spirit, or a light being or something, and she would immediately get scared and look away. And I would say, you saw them. I know you saw them. And she would just want to shut it down. And it caused her a
Wow.
lot of health issues in life by trying to do that. But long story short, when she actually passed away, then she accepted and was grateful that I explored and, took the time to advance my gift, because we continued our relationship and I actually crossed her over. And when I crossed her over, I did so through what looked like a library. And
Mhm.
that ended up actually being the Akashic Records Library, which can look different for different people. But that's how it organically happened for me. And I recognized that I had been there in many dreams and astral and meditative experiences before. And so then my guides and my teams and my versions of deity showed me, how to tap in and utilize and understand the records and read them, how to access them for clients and others, and to actually know that that's where a lot of the information was coming from organically. And now in energy healing, how to also go about a practice of rewriting or amending the records with our consent and our healing abilities now. So they can look like anything if you have an experience, or perhaps you look through a YouTube video or a guided meditation. They can look like anything to anyone. I've worked with people where they look like videotapes, where they look like old scrolls. They can look like physical books, or even computers now, or phones. So it really it's just an information source
Mm.
and a facility, and it's malleable depending on what your consciousness is ready to see. But it is a record of our soul's history. So we can do things like read from your ancestral karma. We can do things like read from your past lives if you believe in past lives. I particularly do. I came in with memories of many of my lives before and would talk about them as a little girl. So that's a real experience to me, but it doesn't have to be for everyone. I work with people and I always remind people, sometimes people misunderstand what past lives are, or they are taking a hit or a clue or an archetypal piece of information from the record and attaching to that as that's maybe who they were. And what I've found in my past life work is this is what explains where people believe that there are a million incarnations of the same famous person. It's not really that that's happening. It's that they're tapping into the record. They're getting a hit or a clue about that famous person who's coming forward as a symbol of an archetype to maybe show people that they were connected to the same time period, or maybe they had a similar life, which was unknown, but took a similar pattern. So it's spirit trying to get us to understand, and we have to be willing to dive deeper and not just try to attach to what we want to be true about our past lives or about the
Mhm.
record, but really read them for what they are, because confirmation bias, people can try to make things fit that aren't necessarily true. And even readers can do this if they don't understand that archetypal system yet.
And if you're on your soul journey, or recognized soul journey, you need to know what the true lives were, if they were
Yeah.
lessons that you learned. Because if you archetype it, then you push it aside. You don't get the true meaning of what you've learned
Yeah, and I have
to
seen
move
people get
forward.
stuck in this pattern of believing maybe that they were a famous person and not recognizing it. Like I always use Cleopatra as an example because she steps forward a lot. So many people step forward as being Cleopatra. In my experience, a lot of those people were maybe in Cleopatra's time period, or even just a part of a time period of a famous female ruler, but the only symbol that they have in their memory data bank currently is Cleopatra. So that's the first symbol that's trying to get them down the right path, but they're not continuing down the path yet.
Okay, well, we went over a little bit, which was great. We can only go over a certain amount, and then I don't want to rock the boat too much
Yeah.
on the radio station.
We could be
So
here forever.
I know
Yes.
because it's so
We could do a whole nother show about past lives if you want.
Oh my
yeah, oh, it's
goodness.
so cool. We'll definitely have to have you come on. But in the meantime, take this opportunity to reach out to Danielle. Go to her website. Leo, can you post that website again?
It's scrolling on the bottom there,
Oh,
Downsville
perfect.
Designs, but I will put it up.
Yes.
Okay,
and
great.
on there, you'll see there are like things listed on the main page. There are ways to contact me if you want to apply for an energy healing spot, or there are sessions that can be purchased right away. And then I'll contact you back for scheduling.
Yeah.
Or you can purchase and take advantage of the gift certificate option, buy one and get one, get a price break, mix and match. There are over 15 options there, and interact that way.
I'm going to
holiday
do that.
deal.
I'm getting gifts. I have decided. What a beautiful gift to give someone. So, okay, we want to thank Danielle. I want to thank Leo. I want to thank everyone that asked a question. And if you didn't get to ask a question, we apologize. I do have to stay under a certain amount of time. But thank you, Danielle. I can't thank you enough. And happy Thanksgiving to everybody. It's coming up. It's next Thursday, but so we still have another week for that. If you are in the area of the Lori Lawrence benefit, please come and see us. Sean Patrick Murtaugh is at Green Room 42 this Friday. He donated some things, so I definitely want to give
Here
a shout
is
out.
the picture signed by Carol Channing. That's
Oh my God, Richard, thank you. This is amazing. So Richard is giving us this as something we can raffle off. This is beyond.
Oh,
Thank you,
goodness.
Richard. How
And remember,
sweet.
I'll be on Richard's show tomorrow night. So for those of you who are empaths and have empath questions, you can ask me tomorrow.
Oh my God, this is so great. All right, wonderful. And Wednesdays, check out Danielle's show on Wednesdays. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for taking the time to show up and stay open. That's what I can tell you.
And
stay
love.
open, of course. Just stay open.
Thank
That's
you, guys.
it.
Thank you, everyone who showed up. I appreciate you all.
Yay!
It's so good to have you on the show, Danielle, and talk with you.
So fun. Thank you, everybody. Come back next week. We're here every Tuesday at 9.
Yes.